All right, everybody, 2 in 1 day. We got another kit reveal here with the Stranger or Qimir, however you say it, Qimir. We'll call him the Stranger because he's not going to be Qimir in game, just like we don't call Reva, right? We call her third sister. Yeah, that's not a thing. Okay. Anyways, we got an OP kit reveal. This thing looks crazy. This is just basically replacing a top tier team that we already have and making a new top tier team. You'll see why in a minute. I haven't read the full thing. It's a long one, so strap in. We're not going to be able to make a ton of we're not going to be able to think about exactly how this is going to work. You'll get the idea. And it's supposed to replicate the feel of what he was like in the show, where apparently he was just going crazy in full Viking mode on the Jedi. I didn't watch the show, but I've seen that clip a little bit. So anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this Qimir reveal, the Stranger. Why did I keep doing that? Anyways, attacker, leader, and Sith. So not unaligned Force user, which a lot of people were speculating. It's confirmed Sith. No Acolyte tag. Interestingly enough, he grants the Acolyte tag. So we may or may not end up getting more of this. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Okay, we'll get into the key attributes. Each active ability has the opportunity to instantly defeat an opponent. Oh, great. This may not be as bad as it sounds, but still kind of bad. Cortosis armor provides a potent effect that enemies should avoid. They definitely needed to include that. That was like a key part of what made the guy cool. So glad that's getting some usage, although it's not against Jedi only, it's against absolutely everybody. So it doesn't make a ton of sense because common counters to Cortosis armor were not using lightsabers. Anyways, Grand Arena Omicrons provide the Stranger and his acolytes with significant action economy. Good thing it's Grand Arena. I'm sorry, TW Omicrons are not highly sought after because he's Grand Arena. He'll get a lot of usage. So he's just basically bye-bye Seer, and you'll see why. Watching Qimir reveal himself as Sith while systematically dismantling a group of Jedi was such a fantastic moment. We knew needed to be added to the game. We knew he needed to be added to the game. The Stranger was looking for a pupil, an acolyte, so this led to having him lead the team with the most powerful apprentice, Star Killer. Why are they stealing Star Killer? It's so sad. However you feel about the acolyte, I just don't want Star Killer being wrapped up in all this. Like, leave him alone. We need Force Unleashed content. We need a full team of Star Killer Force Unleashed characters to go with Star Killer. That's my hot take. Make it Darth Vader lead, put Rom Coda in there, put Proxy in there, fill in the gap of, an unaligned Force user, put Shock T in it. I don't care. We just need Force Unleashed content rather than this, putting him with the Acolyte. This is just salt in the wound. I'm sorry. Anyways, he's not only going to be Star Killer getting taken, he's also going to be alongside other strong students like Barriss Offee, Visas Mar, and Redacted. I'll give you 3 guesses as to who Redacted is. If you don't understand yet, we'll read on a little bit and you'll get an idea probably. The power of Cortosis through his helmet and gauntlet are represented in the new buff that reactively dismantles the enemy as they attack the Stranger. His ability names, an Acolyte destroys the dream, and was that its name, are direct quotes from the Stranger in the Acolyte, the TV show. Peace is a lie is from the Sith Code and also alluded to in the show. Okay, so that's the inspiration that they went with. Strategy chips bring in the appropriate team comp to fully unlock the Stranger's power. Very kind of sorta similar to Star Killers in that regard. Utilize active abilities to increase the Stranger's stats. The Stranger has the potential for significant speed and turn so he can punish those slower opponents. Okay, now they're recommending speed and crit chance. This might be a little bit of an indication of something. We'll talk about that more in a moment. How do I unlock Stranger? Conquest, we already knew that. It's going to be starting with the next Conquest. You have 3 Conquests to unlock him before we can unlock him, and then you can get him within 6 Conquests, or you have to go to Proving Ground, so keep that in mind. Why is there a reference to Fracture in his kit? I mean, Stranger is taking Emperor Palpatine's spot in Starkiller Squad. Most people use him with Seer now. Anyways, so there must be someone else coming to the slot where Marla Jade used to be. Again, who could you guess is going to be the dark side unaligned force user that they're talking about for the stranger? Who could guess? Yeah, anyways. How does the benefits of the Omicron on an Acolyte kills the dream trigger? Okay, this is always weird when they have these questions, but I'm not going to read this right now because it'll make sense later. How does the bonus damage from taking a turn before the enemy work? Yeah, okay. So we'll get to the kit and then we can go back and look at that fact for clarity. This kit is so long. Okay, so Peace Still Alive. He's got some little jab, little move that he's got going on. Deal physical damage to target enemy and dispel all debuffs on the stranger. Okay, so he cleanses himself on basic, essentially. During his turn, gain 50 speed the first time this ability is used. So just automatic flat 50 and 1 speed, +1 per relic amplifier level for a max of 10. So he gains 60 speed the first time the ability is used, and then 10 each time after that during his turn. Stacking with a max of 50 triggers. Okay, so the way I read that is he can gain up to 550 speed. I was wrong about the 60. The 10 is from subsequent use. So it's 50 the first time, and then 10 each after for 50 times. 10 equals 500 plus the initial 50. Whatever his speed is, it's going to be plus 550 by the end if he gets all these triggers off. So that's pretty wild. He also gains alert from 1 turn, which can't be copied. Great. I gotta refer to the other game mode. Let's go ahead and go over to the game real quick so we can figure out what alert does. They really need to republish these abilities when they use them. Alert is Night Trooper. Good thing I have knowledge of the game, otherwise I'd have no idea what alert does at all. Let's see, is this one? No. Alert. Whenever an ally gains bonus turn meter while not at 100% turn meter, this character gains 10% turn meter once per turn. This character assists whenever an ally uses a special ability. Okay, so tons of assists, essentially. For the oh no, it's for every time? Gosh. Okay, if he uses his basic, he gains alert and then assists after that. So that's hopefully only during his turn that he uses it. Okay, so lots of speed, and then for the rest of the battle, alert for 1 turn. So if he's using his basic during his turn, then he's going to end up getting a lot more assists when anybody else does anything. During his turn, if the stranger has 250 speed more than the target enemy, instantly defeat the target enemy once per battle, which can't be evaded. Okay, well, good thing characters have instant defeat immunity, but boy, this is just gonna nuke a lot of things. He has a speed set. You have either one of 2 situations happening here. One, he starts at very low speed and you have to build up and ramp up to it, right? Which is, there's a possibility there. But if I recall, speed sets, remember the mod recommendations up here? Speed sets only apply to starting speed, like the natural speed, not the speed you gain throughout the encounter. I could be wrong about that, but I think that's how it works. So if that is, then why would we want speed sets on a character with low speed to start? Just my take. So the alternative is that he's a fast character, and that's why you want speed sets on him. And in that case, he's going to just, there might be situations where he's close to already killing them on his first turn, or the first time he uses his basic, I guess, during his turn. So, but it's not going to take that long to get there if he has the normal speed of a normal character. 5 turns of his basic and he's well above that, right? Or no, I'm getting that wrong. It's not 50 per basic. I got that wrong. It's hard math. 10 per, so I don't know. We have no idea what his base speed is, but he could kill people once he ramps up enough. That's the idea. I think he can only defeat the target enemy once per battle, or he can only defeat 1 person per battle. I don't know if that's clarified. If we go back up here, Each active ability has the opportunity to instantly defeat an opponent. Okay. They have different things. Okay, anyways, so that's where we're at. Who knows? We'll answer more questions in the future. Special, an Acolyte kills the Dream. Cooldown of 5 and Omicron. Notably, this wasn't an Omicron or a Zeta. So, deal physical damage to target enemy, and the target gains. Oh, this is a cool little animation where he throws the lightsabers, I think. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Deal physical damage to target enemy, and the stranger gains perfect defense for 1 turn, which can't be copied or dispelled or prevented. I don't know who had perfect defense. That's one I don't know. Can't be copied or dispelled. Call all dark side unaligned forced user Acolyte allies to assist. These tags, holy tags. Call all of them to assist. Well, all the dark side unaligned force user ones, that is. Gain 50% max health for the first time this ability is used. The first time, so he gains 50% max health and 5% max health each subsequent use, stacking for the rest of the battle. Inflicts all enemies with tenacity down for 2 turns, and all enemies with less than full health are exposed for 1 turn. If there is only 1 enemy remaining, the dark side unaligned force user Acolytes instantly defeat target enemy on assist once per battle. Okay, so whoever's not to be named redacted from the show, probably, and Starkiller will automatically kill them on assist if there's only 1 enemy remaining. Okay, so unlikely to, like, this doesn't can you instantly, no, you can't instantly kill GLs. It'll do mass damage. So I mean, A probably will take out GLs in certain situations for sure. I think that's where they're lining them up to be. While in Grain Arenas, and if all allies are Acolyte, if all enemies have fallen below 100% health at least once this encounter, the stranger gains massively overpowered for 1 turn, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. If this ability defeats an enemy, revive all Acolyte allies. Then all Acolyte allies, alkaline enemies, Acolyte allies recover full health and protection. Okay, so massively overpowered, I think, does massive damage from the data disk from Conquest. These kits are getting very referential. Now we're getting buffs from Conquest. It's gonna do a lot of damage in Grand Arena if they've all been below health. That's what you need to know. And then it's a revive for all the people, because as you'll see later, everybody on the team gets Acolyte tags. So special 2, was that its name? This is a Zeta, not an Omicron. We only had the 1 Omicron here. Now the first part of the GIF is the special 2 animation. So okay, there's a different one. There you go. The quick jab is the second part, I guess. Deal physical damage to target enemy, and the stranger gains retribution for 1 turn, which can't be dispelled or prevented. Stun the target enemy for 1 turn, and if all allies are Acolyte, stun the weakest enemy for 1 turn, so double stun, which can't be evaded or resisted. Gain 50% defense penetration for the first time this ability is used, and gain 5% defense penetration each subsequent use, stacking for the rest of the battle. What's the cooldown on this? 5. Okay. This attack ignores protection. All other Acolyte allies gain 10% turn meter, so he's going to be able to hit underneath protection, which means he's going to reduce health below 100%, which helps with the first special potentially. If this ability is used a 3rd time against the same opponent this encounter, then instantly defeat the target enemy once per battle, which can't be evaded. If this ability instantly defeats an enemy, all allies are demoralized for 2 turns, which can't be copied, dispelled, evaded, or resisted. Okay, demoralized is from the raid, the Order 66 raid, when they use that second special from killing Oppo. And I think it's just like they take a bunch more damage and stuff. They're so referential. And then you're gonna have to keep track about when you use what ability against which opponent how many times in order to figure out if you can instant kill them. Maybe there'll be some marker in game that'll let you remember this. Otherwise, you're gonna have to have a notepad nearby. Okay, and then You Might Call Me Sith is the first unique, maybe only unique, the stranger has 35% offense. The first time each enemy damages the stranger, excluding summon units, he gains 100% turn meter. So every time the enemy, for the beginning of the match, every time a new enemy attacks him or damages him, gain 100% turn meter. So he's gonna probably take 4 turns before the last enemy goes. Keep that in mind. Whenever the stranger uses an ability, he deals bonus true damage to target enemy equal to 10% of his max health if he has taken a turn before his enemies. It's funny that you wouldn't increase his max health if this is kind of what he's doing. You can stack this up to like 40, I think, because if he has taken a turn before his enemies. Hold on, let's read this again. Whenever the stranger uses an ability, he does bonus true damage to target enemy equal to 10% of his max health if he has taken a turn before his enemies. So this seems to be on the opening thing. This bonus damage value is reset on each enemy whenever they start their turn. Okay, it's a reset. So it doesn't do that. I mean, we'll have to read above. Whenever the stranger uses a special ability, he calls himself to assist and gains Cortosis armor, which can't be copied for 1 turn or until he's damaged by an enemy ability, which can't be copied. While the the Cortosis armor can't be copied, and then until he's damaged by an enemy, it can't be copied. I think that might be a typo, or I'm missing something. While the stranger has Cortosis armor, he's immune to turn meter reduction. Okay, so he's gonna assist on all of those. Luckily, his basic doesn't do the crazy stuff every time he's called to assist, but he's going to dispel all debuffs on himself. So he's gonna kind of be similar to, I don't know who else does that. Is it Ahsoka? No, she dispels. I can't remember. So that's Cortosis armor. While in Grand Arena, whenever an enemy attacks the stranger from an assist, whenever the enemy assists and attacks the stranger gains a bonus turn. So more bonus turns. I wonder if that stacks with the 100% turn meter. I'm not sure how that interacts. But if you attacked him and he got 100% turn meter because of his unique, and then he also gains a bonus turn. Does he take 2 turns in a row? At the start of the encounter, the stranger can't have his speed reduced below his base speed for the rest of the battle. Okay, so JKL is not going to do anything to him. The first time the stranger is reduced to 25% health, he equalizes health and protection with the strongest enemy. Whenever the stranger uses an ability, he deals bonus true damage to target enemy equal to 10% of his max health for each turn he is taken before his enemy stacking, which can't be evaded. So he now, instead of doing the 10% above, he's doing 10 plus 20, 30, 40, 50, depending on how many enemies moved after him. This bonus damage value is reset on each enemy whenever they start their turn. Cortosis armor is if the character is damaged by an enemy ability while they have this effect, the enemy who damaged them loses all of their protection and 25% speed for 1 turn. So they damage him, they lose their protection, and then if they take any damage, they're below 100% health for his first special. Kind of crazy. Plus, removing 25% speed, I feel like your team's going to be running laps around the enemy team. Whether it's him or the enemy or your other allies, because of the whole losing speed thing. Okay, so that's a really long unique, and now we're gonna get into the longer leader ability. I want a pupil. Zeta plus Omicron. All allies gain 50% accuracy. Whenever an enemy attacks out of turn, reduce the cooldown of was that its name by 1 to if the enemy was a Jedi. Let's go back up and read what the second one. Okay, so that was the second one that did the whole gain retribution and use third time, destroy somebody. All acolytes gain turn meter. Okay, the defense penetration stuff. Okay, so whenever an enemy attacks out of turn, reduce the cooldown of that. So if you are doing mass assists or anything of that nature, attacking out of turn, retribution, you're gonna be supercharging his specials and reducing his cooldowns completely. It does not say once per turn. So if a mass assist happens, I think that just refreshes the ability. At the start of battle, if there are no Galactic Legend allies and the stranger has exactly 1 Jedi, 1 light side UFU, and 2 dark side UFUs, all allies gain the Acolyte tag and the following effects are active. Whenever an ally attacks out of turn, reduce the cooldown of an Acolyte kills the dream by 1. Okay, well, there's already a lot of assisting. Does it include him? Whenever an ally attacks out of turn, that includes him, and he assists on his own abilities. So keep that in mind. He assists on his own abilities, and he's reducing his cooldown of this thing that inflicts all enemies with tenacity down for 2 turns. Gains perfect defense, gains max health. It's gonna be bonkers. And then he also does the massively overpowered thing if they've gone below 100% health, and then he revives. So this is constantly going to be reduced cooldown because he's assisting on his own attacks. Not to mention everybody else is going to assist. Fun. Okay. Whenever an ally has a buff dispelled, the enemy that dispelled it can't recover health or protection for 1 turn. Okay, so healing immunity and protection recovery immunity if they remove a buff. At the start of each turn, allies have 100% critical chance while they have protection. Otherwise, they have 100% defense. 100% defense is huge. They are going to be hard to take out if they weren't already. So, but that's only if they're low on protection, right? So otherwise they're going to have 100% critical chance and be a lot of crits. Another thing is whenever a dark side, it says at the start of each turn. I don't know if that's like one ally has it or the whole team has it. That could matter, especially with all the assisting going on. Whenever a dark side ally is inflicted with a debuff, okay, so you have 3 on your team. The stranger and light side allies gain 10% turn meter once per turn. Oh joy, more turn meter. Okay. Remember they recommended Barris and Visas. Visas also has a revive, also does defense penetration, heal, health steal up. Barris is also going to make this team more tanky. So keep that in mind. Whenever a light side ally is critically hit, dark side allies gain 10% turn meter. Okay, more turn meter gain. I mean, more turn meter gain for the whole team, let alone just like him. He's already running laps around everybody. But on top of it, everybody else is going to have crazy turn meter. Whenever an ally assists, dispel all debuffs on the ally they are assisting. Boy, okay. He dispels himself twice. From his basic and from his assist, and then from his assisted basic. There's no debuffs on this man. So he attacks with his basic, removes all debuffs. He calls himself to assist on his basic, which removes all his debuffs, and then this also removes all debuffs. So 3 times he removes all debuffs if he uses his basic. Next we have whenever an ally counterattacks, inflict the target enemy with defense down for 1 turn. Okay, so Starkiller counterattacks quite a bit. We don't know about the mystery redacted person. There was retribution up here, but that's only for the stranger. So, but he's an ally. So whenever he counterattacks from his retribution, target enemy gains defense down for 1 turn. While in Grand Arena, there's more. Okay, so that was just all of this happens. All of this happens. Just from the leadership. Okay. Now, while in Grand Arena, whenever an Acolyte ally counterattacks, so himself from Retribution, Starkiller, inflict the target enemy with Armor Shred for the rest of the encounter instead. Okay, so no defense down, Armor Shred instead. Whenever an enemy is fractured, all allies lose 100% turn meter. All enemies, not allies, which can't be resisted. Okay, so whoever Redacted is from the Acolyte show, we're gonna be doing a lot of fracturing, or at least some fracturing probably. So, but based on all the turn meter gain, probably a lot of fracturing. Whenever an Acolyte ally takes damage from an enemy on consecutive turns, they gain a bonus turn. So if you have two enemies attack you back to back, or do damage back to back rather, then those Acolyte characters take a bonus turn. So if you have two AoEs, your whole team gets bonus turns. Wild, crazy. He's not gonna have any problem playing against AoEs or AIs, I tell you that. So an excellent offensive option, but I think he's probably gonna be a headache and a half for a defensive option too. Okay, whenever this bonus turn occurs, that ally can't gain another bonus turn this way until they take damage from an enemy on a consecutive turn again. Well, that would, okay, so it resets basically. So if they hit you 4 times in 4 turns consecutively, then you get 2 bonus turns essentially. Enemies deal 35% less damage when attacking an Acolyte from an assist. Okay, so assists across the board already do less. Barris is on there, so you're already healing a bunch. And if you're out of protection, you have 100% defense. Gotcha. Okay, sure. Now we have additional things in 3v3 Grand Arenas. If the team includes 2 dark side unaligned force user, this will fulfill the conditions for the Acolyte tag. So him and person from the show. Okay, the kit's done. Congratulations. That only took me a half an hour to read. Let's go back up to those facts. So if that helps anything with our understanding. Acolyte kills the dream. How does the benefits of the trigger? Each enemy at the start of the battle must have fallen below full health at least once. Then the full benefits of the Omicron will be available, i.e. the benefits of defeating an enemy and the massively overpowered. Okay, that didn't really, that wasn't really that confusing, I don't think. How does the bonus damage from taking a turn before the enemy work? When the stranger completes his turn, if the enemy has not taken their turn, then the stranger will deal bonus true damage to them until they take a turn. Okay, so is this like an end of turn thing? This isn't exactly clearing it up. In the Omicron mode, the turns can stack, but are not new instances of damage. The turns can stack, but are not new instances of damage. The player will only see 1 instance of true damage in both modes, but in the Omicron mode, that number can scale up. Okay, so they're saying that 10% is separate from the 10 to 40%. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Is that in the unique? Yeah, okay, so this 10%, whenever the stranger uses an ability, he deals bonus true damage to target enemy equal to 10% if he has taken a turn before his enemies. That is separate from this, but it's going to look like it's all one thing, essentially, while you have the Omicron on. And this is going to do more, which means this whole thing does more, essentially, the way it looks. This kid is busted. And this is just him. We're not even talking about, you know, how this is going to interact a ton with Starkiller. Should we? I don't want to read Starkiller's kit right now. But let's go look at the major key points. Starkiller's kit isn't as bad, right? And I don't think they really have control over who the light side. There's nothing in there that specifically calls out Barris. Barris is going to provide a lot of survivability. But I mean, obviously, when we put in territory wars, Juhani's gonna be incredible on the team, right? Like Juhani's just gonna, like, I don't, this is a very scary thing. Juhani's already kind of a nightmare to deal with sometimes. Okay, let's go ahead and look at Ufu. And who did they say? Visa Smar. We'll look at her first. Deal physical damage to target and dispel all debuffs on Visa Smar and another random debuffed ally. If the target is Sith, Visa Smar and her lowest health ally also recover 20% max health. So on her basic, when she assists or when she takes her turn, she's going to recover 25% max health for the Sith on the team. Or no, if the target is a Sith, if she's targeting Sith. Okay. Never mind. I take that back. But anyways, then we look at her special. Deal physical damage to all enemies. All allies gain health still up. Recover health equal to 35% of her health. If she's at full health after using this ability, revive a random defeated ally at 50%. I don't think there's anything in the Stranger kit that says it can't be revived. Deal physical damage to target enemy and grant all allies defensive penetration up for 2 turns. That's what they need. This attack ignores protection. Good thing it only does it to target enemy. That would be crazy if it ignores protection, did an AoE. Oh, you know what? I gotta read Ben Solo's kit. Okay, so yeah, that's what she does. Unique, let's see what her unique is. Have not applied the Zeta. Has no debuff. She has 100% counter chance. Oh, what we were talking about earlier. And a 60% chance to assist when another ally attacks Sith enemies. Okay, now let's go look at Starkiller real quick. Where is he? Okay, so look at his unique. That's the key part here. Start a battle if there are no other Galactic Legend allies, and Starkiller has exactly 1 Jedi, 1 light side Ufu, 1 Sith, 1 dark side Ufu. All allies gain the following bonuses. He has 100%, so the Stranger has 100% crit damage and 100% max health, 100% max protection until the first time Starkiller is defeated, 35 speed, immune to daze and stun. So even if he's a low speed character, he's getting 35 from here, right? Now, and he's immune to daze and stun. If the conditions for this ability were met at the start of the battle, all the following bonuses are also gained. At the start of the battle, Jedi tank allies taunt for 1 turn. Another reason you're not going to want to use Barriss here, you're going to want to use Juhani or a Jedi tank. All allies have an additional 35 speed, which means he's still going to have plus 70 speed, even if he's a slow character. This guy's going to be insanely fast. Debuffed enemies deal 50% less damage. Well, I'm pretty sure they have a number of debuffs. Whenever a Sith ally uses a basic ability, Starkiller assists, dealing 20% damage, less damage. So Starkiller's assisting in all of this if the Sith ally, if the Stranger's using his basic, which he wants to do because he wants to gain a lot of speed. Whenever another dark side Force user uses a special ability, all allies gain critical hit immunity for 1 turn. That's going to be the character from the show, Redacted. Whenever Starkiller uses a special ability, light side healer allies, Visa Smar, potentially Barriss if that's to be true, but they have their cooldowns reduced by 4. That doesn't really help with Barriss. That's not going to do anything. Jedi tank allies gain damage immunity and taunt for 1 turn. That's why you want a Jedi tank. Barriss Ophi's not going to be used in this unless the Redacted character changes this crazy. In 3v3 grand arenas, any combination where the team includes no more than 1 Jedi, 1 light side unallied Force user, 1 Sith, and 1 other dark side user will fulfill the condition. So this could be with a lot of different situations, but in the context of the Stranger, he only works if there's 2 dark side unaligned Force users. So Starkiller and another dark side unaligned Force user, pretty much. Okay, so that's his big unique. Now we go over to his other unique. He has 30% counter chance, defense, critical chance, defense penetration, offense. He's immune to fear. He gains 4 stacks that and gets him to Unleashed. When he gains Unleashed, which he's going to gain a lot quicker because he assists every single time that Qimir is taking turns, essentially, or doing damage. He's going to gain 70% counter chance, so now he's 100% counter chance. He dispels all debuffs on himself, takes a bonus turn, cooldowns are reset. And if there's no Galactic Legend allies, gain the special ability. Size means nothing. Limit once per battle, and then he does all this stuff. So, okay. He's going to be hitting alt super quick. This is going to get a lot more use because usually I haven't applied this because this only works while he's unleashed, right? Deal physical damage, target enemy, inflict daze, vulnerable. That's good. Gain 20 stacks of force energy. Okay. But the Grand Arena Omicron is while unleashed, dispel all debuffs on all allies, and buff immunity and the healing immunity can't be copied, dispelled, or resisted. So I don't use this because normally when he unleashes, it's game over. It's a win more thing. But under Qimir, he's going to hit that super fast. Then this is going to be relevant from the beginning of the battle, essentially. So this is going to have more value. We're going to see people apply that if they haven't already. Okay. Now, I want to look at Ben Solo real quick here because I want to know what the requirements for this are. Deal special damage, target enemy, inflict armor stride until the end of the encounter. If all allies were light side at the start of this battle, dispel all buffs from all enemies and deal true damage again to all enemies. All allies gain 5% turn meter for each enemy damage this way. Okay, so this isn't going to work because we have dark side enemies, obviously. All other light side allies gain 5% stacking. That's if it defeats. Okay, what I was looking at is Ben with his Omicron ignores protection. Not that one. Is it this one? Ben Solo's attacks ignore protection. So this could still find use. I don't think that we're going to pull him away from Rey. There's no reason to pull him away from Rey. But it could have been kind of cool because I used to use Ben with Seer before when there was a special resistance Datacron. It didn't apply to him. So it was actually a higher win rate hold defense if you didn't have Ben on the team. During that time, I used Ben under Seer and he was blowing stuff up. It was really fun. So what I was thinking was if you bring this in with Qimir, his attacks ignore protection, and then you use his AoE, but it's only an AoE if it's all light side at the start of battle. That sucks. But if he just kind of hit everybody, ignored protection, AoE under protection, reduces their health, and then the stranger's special immediately defeats somebody, right? That's like a quick instant defeat. So that's interesting. He's also probably not going to be able to do too much against Rey. I mean, he probably run laps around just about anybody. But the instant defeats aren't going to matter as much because of the instant defeat protection from Ben. So that's interesting. Yeah, and then this doesn't do damage to everybody either. It's just target enemy. Well, there could still be something here because he targets under protection. So he does different things based on who the person is. And let's see, if the target enemy is an attacker or support, inflict offense down, potency down for 1 turn. Not a big deal. Okay, so that's not going to work. Now, what other people are suspecting until we get redacted is that we're going to see Malicos slot in under there. Honestly, I don't see a reason why Malicos wouldn't be good there. I think there's a high possibility that we have Acolyte girl come to the game and she's not actually used because Malicos here does a lot, right? So we look at why he would be good. Deal physical target enemy and gain 2 stacks until the end of the encounter. He's losing a bunch of defense, but that doesn't ultimately matter. He's assisting a bunch potentially. Deal physical damage to target enemy and gain riposte for 2 turns. Riposte. Quadrupled if all allies are dark side unaligned force users. Okay, so this doesn't do that part, so that's one reason we wouldn't use him. He takes bonus turns every stacks 20 until the blah blah blah. It's so complicated. If the ally in the leader slot is dark side or the light side, this wouldn't work either. Okay, so there's a good chance that he doesn't actually if all allies are unaligned force user, we don't have to worry about Malicos. I think his kit turns off. So, but yeah, it's interesting to see if there's another dark side unaligned force user because he assists on ally abilities, I think it is, Maul could be a huge one that people are looking at because he's going to use his multiple stacks, use his force push thing a bunch of times, and then Qimir is just going to assist a bunch of times, and then Star Killer is going to assist a bunch of times, I think. So it'll be kind of nutty. There's a good chance for that at least. But yeah, okay. Well, shoot, that's a lot of stuff. I'm sorry for 2 long videos back to back. I'll figure out a different format, or let me know in the comments section down below if you like the longer explanation and rambling and stuff. But otherwise, I'll try to figure out a way to shorten these down and condense them. If you got usefulness out of this video and you're excited about the Stranger, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you want more content like this, hit the notification bell so you know when it all goes live. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow or the next time. I don't know when I'm gonna make another video. Bye.